Hey everyone, it is Hot Alpha Female today, and today I have a very interesting topic that you guys, I'm sure, will have plenty to say about, and that is what is up with women today. I want to give you a little insight. This is probably something that you guys have all discovered the very hard way, and it's also spread because I've been speaking to a lot of my friends in America and the people that I mastermind with and brainstorm with about some of these ideas. And I've heard some shocking horror stories about American women, and it's kind of scary. And I wanted to, after I thought about it for a little while, I wanted to be able to give you some insights on what's really going on there, and why they're so scary and psycho and dominant and manipulative, and how what you guys can kind of do in order to counter that and what's really going on. So let's get started. Now, I could basically boil it down to a couple of different points, but the first one is that particularly in America, women have a lot of high expectations of what they are supposed to be able to accomplish and achieve in their life, especially women, early 20s up until late 50s. There's just a huge pressure for them to be extremely successful. Career-wise, family-wise, they need to have it all together. They need to have the family, they need to have the career, and they need to all do it with a smile on their face. And to be honest, it is a lot of pressure for a woman. And it's getting harder and harder for her to admit that at times she can't handle something, because there's this big ego thing going on about needing to prove that she can do everything. And the truth is, it is very difficult for a woman to multitask all these areas in her life and make sure that they're up to scratch. It just really can drive a woman mad and crazy. And then you guys have to deal with that, and that's not fun. So because they have these higher expectations of themselves, they also have these high expectations of relationships. There's, I think there's a channel over there called the Opposition Channel. It's got all these, TV shows on it, and it's just, and the media and things like Cosmo, you're just putting all these ideas in women's head about what a relationship is about. And as well as that, I think women really think this idea of femininity and being a woman is basically about just exerting sexual power over a man, and really it's just kind of manipulative, and there's more to a woman's femininity than her sexuality and her sexualness. Femininity is based on being open and receptive in a number of ways, and and it's not just like that in the bedroom, but in that while you're relating to her as well. It's so, if she's open and receptive, then you can feel yourself more as a man as well, and this is really important for that dynamic between a man and a woman. What else? At the end of the day, the women that project this idea that they do have it all together and they don't need a man and they can have everything handled, these are the women that are probably the most scared. They're the most frightened, they're the most uncertain, they're the ones that need the most reassurance. And because they can't find that in a man, or they don't believe that they can find that in a man, they are basically just having this guard up, like, okay, well, if no guy can handle it, I'm going to handle it all, and I'm going to stress the shit out of myself. I'm trying to handle it all, but I'm not going to admit that I can't. And so these are the women that are probably just like, can be quite intimidating, just because you don't understand like what you could possibly give to this woman, what you could possibly exchange in terms of communication and just any needs whatsoever with her, because she just seems to have it all handled and she won't let you in. So women have this whole idea about being really independent, and so they can earn as much as any man these days. They can bear children, they can have a family, they can do all sorts of wonderful things that are very equal to what a man can do, and they will say to themselves, I don't need a man, I've got my money, I've got my cars, I've got my career, I've got my family, I've got my friends, I've got my hobbies, why do I need a man? And they will project that idea. They will project that when they go about and they walk around and, you know, basically would stick up their butt. And then they'll go home and they'll sit down in their apartment by themselves, and they'll be like, hang on, I seem like I have it all together, you know, like I have everything that a man could, I have everything that equals what a man could have. So why do I feel lonely? Why do I still have this desire to have a man in my life when clearly I don't need him? And what it's about is, you know, even though she may be able to financially take care of herself and emotionally take care of herself in different ways, to have her whole life put together, at the end of the day, I mean, she still has this biological urge for that emotional protection that only a man can really provide, and that type of intimacy, and connection and depth that only a relationship can really give you. And some women have realized this. Others are just kind of running on autopilot, and they're just like, you know what, maybe you know, this emptiness is going to be filled if I focus more on my career, if I pick up a new hobby, if I do 20 things instead of just 10 things. But the truth is that what they really want and desire and need is a man. And the problem is that they just can't admit this to themselves yet. And that is what I believe is the real issue with what is going on with women today. You know, they're tired, they're exhausted, they're scared, but they can't admit that. So they're trying to put up this guard, they're trying to put on this wall and this barrier to say, hey, you know what, I don't need you, when really what they would like to say is, oh my god, like totally, like I would just love to have a man in my life, a real man in my life who I can just lean on, who I can share my life with. But they can't get to that point yet. There are certain things though that you can do as a guy, especially in the dating scene, or as a guy who is in a relationship and would just like to take that a step further, that can really help coax out her femininity. And in doing so, it can really help you just feel like the biggest man. You know, like you just get to win with your woman every single time. And I think this will be really important for the both of you. So that will be probably next week in my video, especially about masculine energy and what you can do as a guy to coax out a woman's femininity. And the more that you do that, the more open and receptive and girly and fun she will be. And this will be very good for the both of you. So look out, guys, for the video next week, and leave your comments, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.